That's good. I mean, at least they're acknowledging, their own policy. I mean, at the least. I was told before by other other drivers, that Lyft actually reaches out to the riders and tells them, for example, due to the coronavirus pandemic, we encourage you to spray down with your vehicle disinfectant and keep it clean and so on and so forth. So, it's in their policy. It's in Lyft's policy that they're aware that cleanliness is a necessity.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? So, but that was another issue too, was the fact that, I was consistent, literally at least 4 times a day, I was complaining to Lyft, telling them, that the vehicles that they were sending me were dirty. And literally sometimes they would send one vehicle, it'd be dirty, I'd complain, and the next vehicle that would arrive would also be dirty.
So it's not Lyft targeting you, man. It's just,
I'm not saying Lyft per se is targeting me, but
it's a random.
Yeah, it was almost to the extent that, there was a pattern that was forming, that it was as if I was being targeted, like literally. Mm-hmm. And I almost, had to file a lawsuit against Lyft, but it wasn't realistic for me to literally have to file 4 lawsuits a day against Lyft just to get my point across. But even though it would be an easy case to prove, because in the United States courts, all a person needs is clear and convincing evidence proving what they're claiming beyond a reasonable doubt to win. So, for example, picture evidence, video evidence, just pretty much printing out that exhibit of evidence, that picture of a dirty seat, presenting that to a judge, that's clear and convincing evidence proving what I'm complaining beyond a reasonable doubt, and far beyond a reasonable doubt. So when someone has picture evidence or video evidence, that's clear and convincing evidence proving what they're saying far beyond a reasonable doubt. That means they automatically win. And they only need evidence proving what they're saying beyond a reasonable doubt to win in the United States court. So it's an easy case to prove, but it's not realistic for me to spend, thousands of dollars in filing fees and, losing time and, causing myself mental anguish and all these different things, just for a $20 to $40 Lyft ride. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So it became a nuisance. And then just recently, when the vehicle that arrived, it made me sick to an extent where I had to go to the emergency room. That's when it got to the point where I was like, okay, you know what? Now I'm aware that I'm being targeted, so on and so forth, because not only was that happening, but I just started college here in the fall semester in Tallahassee Community College. There's students in my classes that have identical names to people who are in high-profile lawsuits that I had to file in Miami. Cases that stem from everything from my child being killed at an emergency room while he was being born, to 3 different police brutality cases, 2 in Miami and 1 in Broward County. And there's several people in my classes with identical names in all of those cases. So, I was aware of that, and I'm also aware of the investigation that's going on, because, I'm studying law. I've applied for the FBI, and it's just requirements that they do, to screen people to see if they're eligible and will be a good fit, and where they would be a good fit within those specific participating agencies. So I'm aware of all that, but it's just they crossed the line when they were repeatedly sending me dirty vehicles, knowing that I'm vocal about situations like that, because I'm concerned about me getting sick, and especially if a situation could be avoided. And on top of that, I'm spending my money, so I'm expecting
Good service or
right, yeah. Cause I wouldn't,
what you get.
yeah, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want somebody to get sick, going to school, especially after school, on the way home. I wouldn't want anybody to have to go through that. So I wouldn't expect somebody to do that to me, but they were. So it got bad. It got worse and worse, and I complained to Lyft. I mean, there were so many situations just within the past 6 months with Lyft. It almost got to the point where I was about to file a lawsuit, and I would have won, but it's just one of those things where you kind of just wait it out. If it doesn't stop eventually, then in the United States, the only option is to file a lawsuit. You know what I mean? To get monetary relief, because
Or you can take Uber.
it was the same thing. Believe it or not, Uber was actually worse. Uber was actually worse. I actually went to Lyft because of Uber doing the same type of situation, causing these same types of situations. And so I went to Lyft, and then a driver told me to sign up for Lyft Pink, and they said Lyft Pink will send vehicles that are always clean. It's called Lyft Pink. They said it's an extra $9.99 a month, and they'll send you. They'll make sure they send you cleaner vehicles, and if you have to cancel, they'll cancel with no aggravation. They won't charge you a cancellation fee, and blah blah blah. I was like, well, they shouldn't charge me a cancellation fee if the vehicle is dirty in the first place, because the vehicle is violating Lyft's policy by even considering to pick somebody up with their vehicle filthy. That's not what's expected by a rider. They're not expecting to pay their money, especially to travel long distances in a vehicle that's filthy.
Yeah, there's a level of conduct and cleanliness and that we gotta maintain, right? I can't come in here smoking a cigarette and picking people up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Secondhand smoke just doesn't work.
Yeah. And I feel for you guys also at the same time. And you guys have to be careful, like you were saying, when people are smoking cigarettes and smoking.
Dude, there's a guy I picked up. Happens a few times, man. This guy, he's smoking a cigarette. He gets in my car with the cigarette, starts smoking, and I'm like, when I look at it, I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
Right.
And I said, I don't even smoke in my car. What makes you think you can smoke in my car?
Right.
You need to throw that out, or you need to get out.
And not only that, but you have to be careful, because if he has any kind of respiratory infection, or any open wounds, or any open sores, or anything like that, that's coming through his pores, and that's coming through his circulatory system and his respiratory system. So that also is lingering in your vehicle. So you're inhaling that, and it's being stuck, and it's getting stuck to the inside of your vehicle. It's getting into your air conditioning. So you have to be very careful, man.
Yeah, I don't like it, man. It's crazy. It's right here, right?
Yeah, it's actually on the left. Make a left right here.
Yeah, man. But we deal with a lot of. We deal with all walks of life. I haven't really had a really bad experience. We keep going straight or take a right?
Just all the way down to the end. You'll see an AD building.
A-B as in boy?
AD as in Delta.
And yeah, I've been like, if people give me shit, like I had a college girl, and she was like, "Oh, your car smells like farts," and I'm like, "My car is brand new. What are you talking about? You're just drunk."
Right.
So I just I started messing with her, telling her, "Why'd you fart?" Not here, right? Keep going.
Right here's fine. Right.
And I was like, and I kept messing with her. I was like, "You're so why do you think you're so pretty and you're farting in my car?" So I blamed it on her. And she lost it because she was giving me lip.
Yeah, she was probably one of those spoiled individuals.
100%.
Hey,
All right,
man.
man, you stay safe and be safe.
Same
man.
to you, man. You take care of yourself, man. And once again, I really appreciate you staying clean, man.
Of course, man. Anytime, man. You take care.
Same to you, sir. Get a college success book.
I didn't order it online. I ordered it here. In person, I can't pick my bills instead. They just ordered it.
College success.
All right. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you.
Pocket guide. College success. Okay. This is the book that I need. Okay. This is the right one. Okay, there's only one. They're all the third edition. Okay, that's the right one.
I for AMH 2020, not the democracy.
What you mean? I feel okay. I need the thing.
Yeah, you gave me